This is going to be the only death gear guide video you're ever going to need, so listen up and I'll make this brief. I have constructed what is, in my opinion, the best death gear that you can get for level 60 wizard, so let's go ahead and get into it. For the hat, you want to be using the Hangman's Hood from Waterworks. This is simply the best hood you have access to, as Dorgan's gear is really terrible for the actual armor pierces, and comparing it to the Atavistic, while the Atavistic does have some really nice extra pierce in there, it's lacking in every other statistic, including power pip chance. And the biggest drawback of Atavistic in general is going to be that my gear is very min-maxed to have a complete power pip chance at 100% and enough accuracy so you never fizzle natively. Meaning that the Hangman's Hood is going to be your best in slot for maximizing your power pip chance while also having really good stats. For your robe, you're going to end up using the Uniform of the Condemned. This is from Zigzag, and boy is it a grind. The reason you did this is just that extra 3% accuracy that it gives you. But as you can see, it's a very good offensive gear set, giving me only a little bit less health and resist than Hangman, but 2% extra damage, a max death prism, and a bit more critical as well. You can get away with using the Hangman's Cape if you want, but you'll be sacrificing that precious accuracy, so you might have to do something to make up for that. For the boots are very obvious. You're using the Atavistic Death Boots. Unlike the Hangman boots, which as we can see are just straight up terrible. I actually was amazed the first time about how bad the Hangman boots truly were. The Atavistic Death Boots give you more power pip chance, more health, extra crit, more damage, more block, and they give you extra pierce as well, at the cost of only a measly 2 resistance. They also give you a 45% Deathblade item card, meaning that you Chandra lovers out there don't have to use that amulet, making it a very easy boot choice. A bit of a grind, but well worth it. For the wand, it's no-brainer. We're using the Atavistic Death Staff. The Atavistic Death Staff is a straight upgrade to the the Malistaire wand from level 50, and it's a huge improvement over the Sky Iron Hasta that it uses. Not only does it give you 13 damage, but it gives you a lot of crit block and a little bit of pierce as well, making it an excellent choice for your wand. There really isn't a better option. For level 60, things get a bit more complicated. Level 60, I opt to use the Dagger of Gorgon's Suffering. While it's true that the Atavistic wand does give you 1% more damage, as we can see compared to the Bear Claw, it's just a straight upgrade. But the real reason that I don't use Atavistic despite giving you that extra damage is jewels. The Atavistic does not have a triangle jewel slot, meaning that you aren't just losing that 2% of power pip chance to into Atavistic, you're losing that triangle jewel which you need in order to get the extra power pip chance and accuracy you need, making it just not an option at well. Meanwhile, there's also the blade you get from the Tower of the Elephant, and that blade is just dookie. Not only is it less damage than both the Dagger of Gorgon's Suffering and the Atavistic, but it only has 1 circle jewel, meaning you're going to miss out on valuable pierce, which you need at this level. Skip it and move on. Get the dagger. Now, for level 60, it's actually a bit more of a choice. A lot of people like to use things like the Crisis Astro Amulet or the Shango's Deathblade Amulet, but your boots already give you a blade. Instead, I opt to use Atavistic Death Ample, which gives me a triangle slot that has me Deathblade as well as some extra pierce, resistance, health, and block. You can opt to use something maybe like the Charm of Gorgon's Suffering, which is very similar, but I like having the extra pierce jewel slot, so I'm going to be going with the Atavistic Death Ample myself. And if you didn't, you have triangle jewels to give you more power pip or accuracy if you're missing somewhere. Maybe you use, instead of putting in death blades, you put in more accuracy so you don't need to farm for Zigzag to just make your grind a little bit better. For the ring, we're going for the Atavistic Death Band. And is what I would say if it wasn't missing a triangle jewel. Because once again, we're at a point where there is a much better weapon for damage, but unfortunately, we just need those triangle jewels to max our power pip and our accuracy, which is far more important in my opinion. It's a shame too, because the Atavistic Band has a circle jewel perfect for extra pierce, but alas, we are just stuck not able to use it because we need that 4% power pip chance. If there was a way to replace this, I would, but I have not discovered a way. As for the deck, you can really use whatever. The Zigzag deck is fine. I just use a generic deck. I use a board of Gorgon's Suffering. It gives me a little bit of Arch Mastery. It's nothing crazy. You don't have to think too hard about it. Pets are going to vary. Realistically, your pet's going to be different than mine. I use Cookie here, who gives me Pierce, 6 damage talents, and 2 resist talents. It's a bit widespread, but that's because I was aiming for a very diverse pet with this one. I didn't want all damage for this point in the game. I didn't want, like, bad pet. So this is my middle ground pet, where it's kind of good at everything. It's got useful item cards. It's just a very good pet. If you follow this build guide, you're going to end up having decent damage, good resistance, and most importantly, enough accuracy to never fizzle, and most importantly, maximum power pip chance while not losing out on very much of your Pierce. That being said, this is a very min-maxed gear set. This gear set requires several farms. This requires farming Waterworks, so that's 1 dungeon. This requires farming Zigzag, so that's 2 dungeons. Atavista Death Boots, I think, drops from the final boss, Mithrea, in Celestia, so that's another farm you have to do. The staff drops from Big Sol Dio, so that's another farm you have to do. The Death Ampoule, I actually got this pretty quick. I forget who drops it. I think it's either Calypso or the optional side boss in Celestia, but it's not. That one wasn't too hard to get, actually. And then the fucking Gorgon Ring and Athame are really hard to get your hands on. You have to do it a bunch of Aquila badge grinds. It's just a pain in the butt. So unless you have a bigger wizard to help you, these might be a little harder to get. And then pets are obviously, your pet's going to vary. Your pet's going to change what stats you have. But the most important thing for Arc 2, at least for me, is that 100% power pip chance and that maxed out accuracy. You want to remove variability from your game. Sure, I'm missing out on like a little bit of damage here and there. Sure, I'm missing out on a little bit of Pierce. Those things are terrible. But at least I'm consistently able to hit. I'm consistently getting my power pips. And I'm not sacrificing that much stats. I've seen people wander around using, like, the Sidhi staff from, like, Mirror Lake to, like, get the power pip chance. And I'm like, no, there's a better way to do it. So this requires, like, a lot of grinding to get this gear set. Is it worth it, though? I think so. If you're someone who really likes grinding, this is the gear set for you. You will not be disappointed. I think this is, like, the optimal gear set for Death Wizards. I would not change this at all. The only reason I would think to maybe change it is if you're doing, like, some PvP stuff and you really, really want to have the full Atavisted for the pins. Notice I didn't even socket pins. I don't care about it. But if you're not doing that, this is it. So, recap, Hangman Hood, Uniform of Condemned, Atavisted Death Boots, Atavisted Death Staff, Dagger of Gorgon Suffering, Atavisted Death Ampoule, Ring of Gorgon Suffering, and pet of your choosing, and just whatever pet deck you can get your hand on. Make sure it has a triangle socket so you have that extra bit of versatility for power pip and your accuracy. And if you have yourself a stat mount, by all means feel free to use it. You know, use that Gulcher, use that that Fox for the Pierce. You can use the Bronte, whatever you have. If you have the mount, feel free to go for it. I do have a balanced Gulcher on this account. I just don't have it on this wizard. So yeah, hopefully you found this video informative. Hope you learned a few things. And I hope you enjoyed. Hope you all have a wonderful day and learned a thing or two. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.